My name is Matt Muscat. I'm the marketing director at Treadstone Mortgage. And one of the areas in Michigan that we lend in that's exploding in popularity right now is Traverse City, and more specifically the greater northern Michigan area. So I wanted to do a quick masterclass on everything Traverse City. So I'm sitting here with Ana Wodek. We've known each other since you started here, and you grew up in the area, you're from the area, you opened up the Treadstone Mortgage up in downtown Traverse City. So I wanted to start by just asking you some general questions about the area so that we could give advice to people, whether they're already residents of northern Michigan or they're thinking about moving there. We just want to provide them with all of the information to really enjoy the area and make the best decision. So let's just get started. But when people think of Traverse City, they're not really just thinking of downtown TC that we've all spent time in. What are the areas that really encompass the greater area?
Yeah, that is a great question. When you think of northern Michigan, typically you think of downtown Traverse City on the water. I'm personally from Suttons Bay, Michigan, which is a tiny village in Leelanau County, and there are a lot of pockets outside of just the downtown region. I mean, there's Benzie County, Leelanau County, Antrim County, and then Grand Traverse County. So there's a lot of great pockets, but typically we just say Traverse City because there are so many.
So what are some of the aspects or characteristics of those different areas? Like if someone's maybe moving here from somewhere else, they want to figure out which of those areas is right for them, how would they go about making that decision?
I think it's really like your lifestyle of what you want out of northern Michigan. Is that living on the water? Is that having a little bit more farmland around you? Is it being close you can walk to bars and shops? It's kind of dependent on what you see yourself as the northern Michigan dream.
So let's just talk about Leelanau County first. Like if I'm thinking about Leelanau County, what am I getting?
Oh, I mean, it's a hard question because there's so much beauty to it. I would say the nature. Like you are gonna be, I always say when you cross over M22, you just have a lightness on you that overcomes you. And there's a lot of farmland, there's a lot more space. You're gonna probably get a lot more acreage unless you are looking in the heart of the village of Suttons Bay.
Okay, what about Traverse City itself? Obviously, we've all been there. It's a beautiful downtown area, but you're also, fairly close to the water. The whole water the city overlooks the water.
Yeah.
What does the real estate market look like there in terms of like different types of housing stock that's available, how competitive it is, etc.?
It's a hot market. It is competitive. I mean, purchase prices downtown Traverse City are a lot higher. Everyone wants to have that downtown dream. However, your purchase price is gonna be a little bit higher and it is gonna be more competitive. At least you're gonna have 4 to 5 offers on each property, probably downtown.
So if you're looking for, what I'm kind of hearing is if you're looking for more total acreage and a little bit more affordable price points, you might be looking a little bit further out in some of those other surrounding areas.
Absolutely. I would say the surrounding counties is gonna be more budget friendly.
So it sounds like the downtown Traverse City area, obviously like any downtown area, very, very competitive. And as most downtown areas go, you're not always getting as much space.
Yes.
But with that trade-off, you get more access to bars and shops. If someone wanted a little bit more house for their money in the greater TC area, what cities or counties might be a good option?
Yeah, I would say Benzie County is extremely popular. You're gonna get more acreage probably on your land. Leelanau County is great, a little bit more expensive than Benzie. Antrim County or even Wexford County.
Okay, awesome. When it comes to buying a house in the greater Traverse City area, what is the market like today? Today,
we are now in the spring and summer market. It's definitely, there's more hustle and bustle. People are out wanting to purchase, so it's more competitive. So using a really great agent and a really great lender is going to be key to getting an accepted offer.
Okay, because Traverse City is such a seasonal market, what do buyers need to know about the time of year that they're choosing to jump into the market?
Well, I would never say that it's a bad time to buy throughout the year. To be honest, there's pros and cons. In the spring and summer, more people are gonna be selling their homes and there's gonna be more inventory. However, on the hindsight of that, sometimes first-time home buyers, you can really get a great house in the winter months when people aren't wanting to, move in the snow, and you can get a house that maybe has been listed for a little while and get it potentially under list price.
That's awesome. When it comes to people that are looking to buy like seasonal homes in the area, what tips would you give someone for selecting, the perfect either summer home for themselves or even a short-term rental?
I would say picking out what you want out of that complex. Do you want it a condo? Do you want to pay HOAs? Do you want more land? Do you want parking for someone, or do you want water access? I mean, you kind of have all the tools you need, and you really need to narrow down what you want for a second home or what your renter might want for a short term.
That makes a ton of sense. How walkable is Traverse City? If someone is moving there, are they gonna need a car? Are there certain areas that are more walkable than others?
Downtown is very walkable. I mean, that's one of the highlights to living downtown, that everyone says, like, I get to walk my dog, I get to potentially walk to a grocery store, I get to go to the shops and bars downtown. If you are living, even a few miles outside of town, you're gonna be driving. That's kind of a way of life in Northern Michigan as well. We always joke that to get to the average grocery store, it usually takes about 20 minutes. That's the norm, but the highways and the water access, the drive time goes by really quick because it is pretty.
Well, it's so interesting because, you think of like Northern Michigan relaxation, but it's not the small town that people think in their minds. You still have Amazon Prime and 2-day shipping, and you still have all the amenities. Are there any other major changes that you think people think one way, but the reality is different?
So it is definitely a vacation town. I would say that people are buying, selling, moving, retiring all the time. People that really want to move there to have the Northern Michigan dream of starting their families. So it's ever growing. People think it's a small town, it has a small town feel, but people are always gonna wanna move to Northern Michigan.
And I think that's becoming even more true than it ever has before because of all of the big changes at the Traverse City Airport. Yeah. 10 years ago, there were very few flights there. They all required many connections. And just in the last couple of months, I know they've been doing a lot of renovations, and we now have direct flights from New York and from Chicago and from a lot of these markets. So it seems to me from an investment standpoint, Traverse City is looking really hot, and the world is noticing because you can get there within 2 hours from your door if you're living in Chicago, Manhattan, and a lot of other big cities, and I'm sure there will only be more to come.
There are more to come. That's extremely exciting. When we grew up, we'd never fly out of Traverse City. You didn't have many options. It was super expensive, but for them expanding it and making it more affordable and more flights, people are coming and going with ease now.
I love that. So when it comes to the types of homes that are most common, what does the housing stock look like?
Yeah, I would say majority single family homes, but condos are definitely on the rise. A lot of condos are being built with developers, so those are on the rise. And also here and there, you can find the occasional duplex.
Okay, so if someone's looking to buy a duplex, what are prices like? Are there house hacking opportunities for people that are trying to kind of get into their first investment property? What are you seeing happening in the market?
Yeah, if you are not already an investor and you're a first-time home buyer and you're trying to do that house hack of, moving into one side and then renting out the other, offsetting it, I would say that you need to be competitive because there are far and few, and that is common in our inventory across America. But you're gonna have to really knuckle down on your price, your budget, and also look at finding a great realtor that's gonna help you narrow down where those duplexes are.
And finding a great realtor who might even know of some of those off-market opportunities. I know the last couple of investment properties I've purchased, it's been a realtor or a real estate industry professional saying, hey, I have this coming up if you want a first peek. So making sure that you're working with someone who really knows the market is huge. And I think when it comes to choosing a real estate agent in Traverse City, since it is a seasonal market, what advice would you give to someone when it comes to that?
Yeah, I'm always open to giving a great referral because I am in the market. I know who's great. However, do your research. This day and age, your realtor is everything to you of how you are actually going to get into a house. So definitely take the time to read reviews, look at their pages, look at their team. And also, if you know someone that, bought or sold, take their word for it if they really liked that realtor as well.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned before that, there's all these different areas that kind of make up the greater Traverse City area. And when I'm thinking about choosing a realtor, I want to work with someone who has the most possible experience in the little micro niche area that I want to buy in, because they're the ones that are likely going to have, buyers who just lost out on their last property that are looking to buy, or sellers who've contacted them to say, hey, I'm going to be selling soon. So I would definitely say when you're choosing, make sure to reach out to someone who's a local expert that knows which agents are doing well in the specific area or neighborhood that you're interested in.
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about financing now. So, half the battle is finding a great realtor, finding the house. But, before that, you really want to make sure that you're approved and that you're in a good place financially. What mortgage programs are people commonly using in Traverse City right now?
Yeah, so in the heart of the summer and spring market, obviously conventional is top tier. That just means that, hey, it doesn't mean it's more expensive. That just means that when you're having competitive offers on a specific home, conventionally is likely going to be chosen by that listing agent if you have 5 to 10 offers. Now, I'm not saying that you only need conventional. I mean, we have down payment assistance programs that are phenomenal. FHA, potentially if you go that duplex route, there are a handful of great options, but to be competitive, work on that credit and hopefully you can get into that conventional loan.
So with that conventional loan and with some of these other programs you're mentioning, what are the down payment requirements?
Yeah, they kind of range. So there's a lot of variables that go into it, but technically for a first-time home buyer, your minimum requirement is 3% down for a conventional loan, which is awesome. I mean, that gives the mortgage myth of 20% is just no longer a thing. So 3% for conventionally, but obviously we're gonna tailor that to where you want your monthly payment at and that affordability for your purchase price.
Are there any areas in the TC area that might qualify for any of the zero down programs that are out there?
Absolutely. So in northern Michigan, I mean, it is rural. A big portion of Michigan qualifies for a loan program called Rural Development USDA. So that is 0% down. So you don't have to just be in the heart of somewhere and qualify for that loan program.
So some people that are coming to Traverse City are looking to retire, obviously. Other people are only going there to relax and chill and kind of disconnect from work. But what about people that are moving there to start their career or to kind of take the next chapter in their life? What is the job market like in terms of employment in the area?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously the service industry is huge, but also Munson Medical Center is massive. Any nurse that I know in Traverse City, they probably work for Munson. Haggerty Insurance is massive, it's for classic cars. And then a couple other that are a little bit smaller, but still well known is Fustini's and Cherry Republic.
So what I'm hearing is that there's really a lot of employers in town that you can look for if you're looking for a job, but tourism and the service industry is still kind of the bedrock of the job market up there.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, in the summertime too, if you want to get outside, there's farming opportunities. I mean, you name it, you can find it.
I mean, and talk about the wine industry. I mean, every bachelorette party in the state of Michigan goes up to Traverse City at some point to drink some great wine and relax, and all of those places need great employees as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
How has the work from home culture changed the real estate world in Traverse City?
I would say pretty massively. I have had clients over just the last 5-10 years that are moving from California, Denver, Colorado, a couple from Texas, because they're able to work 100% remote. They want acreage. They want to just have that home in the woods and live out that northern Michigan dream. So I see it all the time, and their only requirement is high-speed internet for their house.
I'm assuming you have high-speed internet.
Yes.
So for these people that are thinking about moving to Traverse City from Chicago, New York, California, what is the average cost of a house in some of the counties that you were mentioning before?
Yeah, I would say around 380, 390 in Grand Traverse County. Downtown a little bit higher. Leelanau County is probably 500,000 and higher. That has grown substantially. But on the outskirts of that, in Benzie County and everywhere, you can find a great home for $200,000-300,000.
Okay, when you say a great home in these areas for, between 300,000 and 500,000, how many bedrooms, what kind of square footage is that usually gonna buy someone?
Yeah, I would say that it's gonna range, absolutely. I would say 2-3 bedroom in that price range.
Okay. So I was absolutely shocked. The last couple times we've gone to Traverse City, the food scene was surprising because for an area that isn't that big, Traverse City really hits above its weight. There seem to be a lot of new restaurants opening all the time, and I think part of that is because it caters to so many tourists who are coming from, major food cities like Chicago and New York. What are some of your favorite spots to, grab a beer, grab some food when you're in Northern Michigan?
I would say Red Ginger is really great. They have hibachi, sushi, it's delicious. Minerva's is really great. U&I is great for a dive bar, and Hotel Indigo has great rooftop cocktails and some appetizers.
And I think it's important too to remember that there's all these little micro towns that have their own cute little downtown outside of downtown Traverse City. I mean, we went to Glen Arbor a couple weeks ago, and I was just blown away by the number of cute mom and pop shops and restaurants where you can get a world-class plate of food. I think we went to is it the Mill?
Yep.
Is that the place?
It's gorgeous.
It's gorgeous, the setting's great, you feel relaxed, but the food is, molecular gastronomy type food that you would find in a major city.
Yeah, there's a lot of great hidden gems. I mean, just Googling isn't always gonna give you your answer, so ask locals, because they're really gonna be able to tailor what type of food you really love.
Are there any hidden gem restaurants that aren't necessarily in downtown Traverse City on the main drag, but people, could check out if they were, on a road trip exploring the area?
I would say Farm Club, that's in Leelanau County. That is beautiful, farm to table, more like charcuterie boards, but they have beer, wine, and you are just immersed in kind of the farm culture. It's beautiful. I would also say Jacob's Farm. That is super fun as well. That has great pizza. It's super family oriented. Kids can run around, play, great cocktails and beer as well.
What's that brewery that everyone kind of every time I see a picture of someone in Northern Michigan, they're at this brewery, there's tons of people outside. In the autumn, I think they have little fire pits everywhere. Yeah. What is that one?
It's called Hop Lot Brewery, and it is beautiful. They have grown just from a tiny mom and pop shop with a couple beers on their menu, and I truly believe so many beer gardens and breweries across America have taken their ideas because they do such a good job. Live music, their food is stellar, a bunch of different beer options, and the environment is it's really fun all year round.
What are some fun, let's say, I'm staying in downtown Traverse City and I want to just explore different areas every day. What are some favorite day trips, one-tank trips, little adventures that you could take, within an hour or so of the area?
Yeah, I would get a bike and go on the Tart Trail. You can go from Grand Traverse County all the way to Leelanau County and kind of find some hidden gems on the way. I would say explore that. Slabtown is really great. Downtown right by the main marina is gorgeous. You can walk around, get an ice cream cone. I would just say get a bike or put on some tennis shoes and just start exploring.
It's super funny because every time we go there, my wife puts on her tennis shoes and goes for a run and always comes back with one new place she ran by that she wants to check out. And that's kind of the beauty of Northern Michigan, is that the nature is so great that you can kind of explore and figure it out and not be in a rush.
You can get lost easily in the best way.
So we've talked a lot about all these amazing activities that you can experience in Traverse City in the summertime when it's beautiful outside, but obviously Michigan isn't sunshine all of the year. What is it like to be in Traverse during the winter?
Yeah, I would say making sure you have a warm coat is essential, but that makes you enjoy the outdoors that much more. In the winter time, Crystal and Boyne Mountain are so fun to go to. And then the beauty of Northern Michigan too is the fall and the spring. So changing of seasons, the fall, you can get outside, go to a bunch of wineries, and start exploring in Fishtown and in Suttons Bay, Northport, you name it, you'll find something cool.
I also really appreciate that Traverse City is big enough that it's not just a seasonal market. And so I know that when we've been looking at budget-friendly trips in the winter, assuming the roads are safe, there's just not as big of a line at some of those same amazing restaurants, wineries. So if you're looking for something to do, you can still eat great and have a great time, but with less lines. It's kind of one of those hidden gems in Michigan in the wintertime.
That's kind of the ongoing joke that we finally say the locals finally come out in the winter. So you can find some great restaurants and get some good reservations all throughout the year.
So I know before you were a mortgage lender, you were actually super into nature, fishing, wildlife. You've lived all over the country doing that kind of vibe. What are some of your favorite hikes or scenic nature things to do up in Traverse City?
Yeah, I mean, just alone driving on M22 is beautiful. So I would say go all the way around Leelanau County. I mean, you can go to Pyramid Point, is gorgeous. Walking around Fishtown is so cool. You have to get a cheese shop sandwich. And then the Sleeping Bear Dunes. Gorgeous, iconic. You can spend 3 days there and still not see everything. And then also going a little bit more north, you can go up to Torch Lake area, is a beautiful drive. Great sandbar out there too if you have a boat.
Well, and it seems too like when it's fall time in Michigan, for anyone from around the country that's not familiar, I mean, our trees, the colors are absolutely stunning, and all you really need is a great bike or a car. Just drive through, put a good song on, and kind of lose yourself in the beauty.
Yeah, it's beautiful. There's so many things to do. My husband and I recently rented a classic car in the fall, and it was gorgeous. Just to drive around, enjoy it, see all the fall colors. You can do so many things.
So Ana, I know that after doing school and having your first couple jobs, you moved back to Traverse City. It was your home, you went away, and you came back. Why did you move back to Traverse City? What about it just drew you back?
Honestly, so I went to a tiny high school in Suttons Bay, and I could not wait to get out of Leelanau County. For whatever reason, I think all of us in a small town just feel that way at some time or another. So I moved out of Michigan, explored, did my own thing, and there was always a pullback. Of course, I love my family, I'm very close with them, but there is something about Leelanau County when you start to get older in northern Michigan that just pulls on your heartstrings. Life slows down a little bit. It's where you potentially want to raise a family, and it's just, there's something about it that just pulls you back.
So if someone listening, I'm just going to assume everyone who heard this is now completely sold on going up there. I think I want to buy a house there now, so maybe you can help me. What would be the first step in figuring out what a move would look like to Traverse City?
Talking to myself or a phenomenal local lender. I say that because I am highly immersed in the culture, in the market. I know what is going on night and day with the housing market. I mean, I'm going to be able to give you the price point of what fits your budget. I'm going to be able to talk about what checks those boxes for a property that you want in northern Michigan. Is it walking downtown, or is it having a little bit of land? I mean, there's pros and cons, but talking to somebody who's honest and open and lives and breathes in northern Michigan is going to be what you need to get you to the next step.